Welcome, Malcolm. I don't know if Harry will be joining us. Let's see what happens. Somebody was wanting to join us earlier on. So what I've got here is a clean chart. I do have indicators on, but for this purpose, and remember at the start of remind ourselves what this is the 7th of the month. So we had basically a new month. So let's just see on the month what has happened so far. This here, Malcolm.
Yeah,
This is this month. This from that there is this month. That's 7 days. That there.
yeah,
What it did,
yeah.
opened here, went down below the low, went back up this month. So let's just do this. Below the low. These are the ones up. Yeah, drop down to whatever time frame you like. Or actually right on that one, I'll say this one. This one. That one right there. So you can go down to I could look at the weekly, but that there went down, went back up. That's the weekly. I just look for this one, wherever that, too many indicators on, I want to remove them. Indicate, no, I've used them. Where's the one that says this one? Can't even find it now, actually. A funny feeling it's this here, but never mind. Let's just check. Let's go back up. There's Harry. Let's go back to the daily, weekly. This one. Oh, it's way up there. Hi, Harry. Great to see you here. Just look at what happened this month. Just, yeah.
Hi, Harry.
Yeah, this month, that was last month. This is this month. Bear in mind, we've only had a week. So that was the low. Let's see what happens. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to save myself getting lost, I'm going to focus on this body. So I always get lost. There we go. Right there. We're looking at that one there. So we just come down to daily so we can see what happens. So that was the daily there. And you see how come all the way down. So let's see what days this is. So that was last Thursday, Friday, and I think that's this one here. That was the wick down on the Friday. So it was the start of the month. And then we went up. So let's just deal with this from the Friday. Friday took out the high here and below. The next day there was a weekend gap. That's Thursday, Friday, and there was a gap between there and there, but we'll come back to that. So let me just do this. So treat this the same way you treat the 4 hour, right? We got that there. All I need to do, let's do it here. Just do that, make it sort of red or something like that. Just do it. It's a bit easier. You're looking for it to go below, then pull back up. I'm just for space we can see what happened. So let's go down to the 15-minute, just so we can see this. Just for speed. 15-minute. That was it there. So let's remind ourselves what that was. It came below and it went up. Let's go back to that on the daily. This here. So rather than that now, I'm actually going to do it slightly different. I'll now do that there. I will do it the same, but I'll just change the color this time in case there's anything. So an orangey. It's just the body there, small. Let this come down and come back up. Well, there, up, come down and back up. And where do you enter? Ideally, you enter as it goes above there. Now, there's a bit of a double top. If you'd entered there, would have had drawdown, but if you had a stop loss, you would have been protected down there. Wasn't the best trade, but it definitely went up. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you the structure of the market just now. Not use talk about indicators or anything yet. Then that was last week. Then we had a Friday. Then we had a weekend gap from Friday to Sunday. So Friday, and then in here, there's a Sunday. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
And then we get this, come all the way down, wicks below there, wicks below there. Thank you very much. Remember, that was the body of the daily. Could have been quite easily been a 4-hour. And then it reverses. It just went to the moon. Wouldn't it be nice to get into that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to get into this?
Yeah.
Well, guess what happened? If you put our indicator on, a new indicator, you would have saw it going down, then come back up. Exactly. Yeah, that timing. Which will do. We'll come back to that. We'll draw that there. Back to that. So that was 9:30-ish. That was 9:30 actually. Eastern Standard Time. Which time in the UK is, Harry? 9:30 plus 5 is 10, 11, 12. Is that 2:30? That's 2:30.
Yeah.
I'll just make that below there. And I want to move this one because we dealt with that one. Let's go to 2:30. 2:30. Sorry, between 3 and 4. I know I'm on the 15-minute for a minute. I'll jump back up in a minute. I typically see we have a trade between 3 and 4. Or what? Just afterwards? So we got, if there may have been a reversal there, we don't know, we'll go down to the 5-minute or the 1 minute and we'll see. Wasn't much of a reversal, but see how it just went above these highs here? These little above there, then reversed. So I'm just going to spot that there. And we have this 9 a.m. here, 9:30. 10:30 a.m. Here, it wasn't really much of a turnaround at all. It went down and carried on. But before we do that, let's now put one indicator on. This one here. This is the whole of Monday. I typically say we don't need to trade Monday, but when you see this gap getting filled, it'd be rude not to take that buy, wouldn't it? When you see this,
Yes.
it would be absolutely rude not to take that buy. Okay, so let's bring this down. Let's bring this down so we can see. So we're looking for it to be above this here or below this here. It's certainly got a buy, but in other words, you might be awake at this time. So let's actually mark 3 and 4. 3, 4. And we'll come back to that later. We're really looking for a sell here. Right? It's because it's above the day's high, but tiny little sell. We'll come back to that. And then if you're taking these buys, thank you very much, goes to the moon. Wouldn't it be great? So at least some of these are absolutely amazing. What is this up here? Let's go to the hour time frame. What is this up here? Let's remove that indicator. I don't want to see anything. Does anyone see how it keeps rejecting off this price? Let's remove that. Went up there, went up there, went up there, went up there.
All times.
So guess what might happen?
Thailand.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it did. So if you're expecting that, we're not going to go into any trades at the moment. We're just going to look at when these trades happened. Now, I've got a line marked out here. I'll come to that in a minute. I went above that line twice, one at 1 a.m. and the other one at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Yeah, and you see the big move, the real move, was at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Does everyone see that? Just there.
Yeah.
That's why we'll go for higher time frame analysis. That's the reason why. So I am going to go, I'm going to go back into the 15 minutes. So you can see where we're at on a bigger scale. But I am going to go at, you can trade here, but let's go to 3 and 4. I've been talking about now for a couple of weeks. And you notice it comes down and it reverses back up to there. It comes down between there and there. I'll show you this. Goes up, it hits there, then it reverses all the way down there. So we've spotted that, and we're also going to spot that one there. There was a 9:30 candle there. Straight into our rejection zone, which we looked at previous, and immediately returned. To see how having the higher time frame helps, guys. It certainly does. Let's go put that indicator on again, just so we can see days. Just so we can see the day separators. I know we've got lots of lines here, but that's one there. That's the Wednesday, Thursday. Let's look at Thursday. I know on the hour, but so going to, there's 4 and there's 3. Look to see what happens there and see if it turned around. Pull back up and down. Let's see if we can make anything of big FVG here. If I draw a line that low there, left it, what happens here? What happens to that wick, guys? What does this wick do? Look at this candle here.
Took out that FVG.
It took out completely that FVG. Well done, Harry. Completely. And then it reversed. But I'm on the hour time frame. So yeah, that's again why it's good for higher time frame analysis. And if you've probably got that lovely buy back up above this. What time was that at? Guess what? 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's an hour. Come back to that. And today, I don't really talk about Friday much, to be honest, but let's have a look at it anyway. Yeah, did that come down? Yes, not a great deal, but it happened. And we're now come to 9:30. So all I want to do is look at this and this and every day. Is that a clear strategy, guys? I've said it in advance, the times of the day. We have no indicators on currently. However, we will put on our new Finding the Whale 1.2. Can I just check? Do you have Finding the Whale 1.2?
Yep.
Yeah.
I go to my settings. The only thing I've changed is from 200 to 10. And sometimes I might want to play with this to see if this has an impact on the London session. That's it. My settings are done. No more indicators. I was playing about with something else to add to that, but we'll come to that. So the first trade was on a Monday. Yeah, so we're going to come to that now. So we'll go to 4 a.m. on the Monday. Stop me at any time, guys. Stop me at any time. 0400, 4 and 5 is 9 a.m. UK time. We should all be out of our bed at that time. 4 a.m. Yeah, so let's see where we're at. So at this point, we're actually looking for a buy. I'm going to be honest with you. Because it went below the low. So that is the strategy. Something like that there. I was saying by there, but we're not really trading this area. Yeah, but it was rejecting the whole time. You could have taken the buys based on the rejection of this red. The way to read this, if it says red and then it rejects, you should maybe get a little bit excited because you're expecting a reversal. It doesn't say buy, it just says it's rejected from there. Why? Because it's momentum going the other way. Okay. So it's come down. We're looking for buys, and there was none there on the 1 minute time frame. I think I went down to either the 30 or the 15 for that. There we get it there. You see that there? Now, I've been looking at this to try and make these a bit more feeling secure. And I did a trade last night with this. What I do is I get a trend line from where it's came from through there. Through there. Yeah. Then find the high. There. That's more of a secure trade for you. And I'll come back to this. So we get the alert. Did take out the low. It came back. I went, so it's all about getting rid of this thing here. And there's the trade there. That's the trend line that you love, Harry. I'm respecting this. I'm going to the last manipulation leg, which was there, down. I draw a line. And there's your entry. Let's see it's there. And where'd you get your exit? There. Now, you could do the exact same thing with the exit. Yeah. You could do that just to confirm it, because sometimes they're false. You can see that's the trend line. And in order for that to be an exit, that was the last manipulation leg. You could use that. That was an old strategy I used to use. Does that make sense to you at all, guys?
Yeah. Could you put that on the 1 minute chart? See if it's the same.
There's nothing there on the 1 minute. That's why.
That explains a lot. I've been sitting on the 1 minute all day.
No, it doesn't always work on the 1 minute. Not enough going into the market. But on the 1 minute, oh, that was a. See, let's use this analysis here for this here. I'll remind you. If it says going down, I go to the left in whatever direction it's came from. It's came from that direction. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're looking for a high. We're looking for a. There. Now, if this is too low, you wouldn't do it. If this is like way, well, what is too low? Well, that's another question. This is the 1 minute. So we did that there, stop loss up there. Let's see what happens. I don't know actually. Very nice indeed. Whoa, look at that. You don't even get an exit to there. But it hit some line, whatever that line was. Let's use that for an entry. And just say we use that as an exit. Again, it's another $200 on one contract. Just using that. This one's on the 1 minute though, Malcolm. That was on Monday. That was it. But that was later in the day though. That went on. That was later in the day. So if you want to stay in the charts and just trade all day, you can, but that was later in the day.
Yeah.
That was your 5 to 11. Let's go to the next one. 9 between the market start moving at 7, right? 7 a.m. There you go. There's your first one. There's your exit there. But what bid you had, if you're using that strategy for it there, could have had that, then eventually it comes back to that. If you want to get out at $100 and or maybe have a trailing stop loss, do you know what I mean by a trailing stop loss? Harry, Malcolm?
Yes.
Have you ever implemented it before?
No.
Yep.
Right. Right. We'll do one today. Okay? Round about 9 o'clock, a lot of time you get big swings in the market. I'll stick on the 1 minute for now, for New York. It says it's coming down. Then you get this. You could do the exact same thing what we've done. You could draw a line. If it goes above it, stop. But as long as you're not negative. So that one there didn't come near it. I might have whipped it above for a temporarily, it went down. When you get a red, then an amber, it's a little bit of a warning. Something might be happening. Yeah. And then when you get this acceptance here, that was of that one, it's going down. And this one was accepted this one. Then it said reject them. A rejection's a bit like buy in this sense. And you can see what happened then. On that, there was not one red. Not there. There. But guess what? If you use that strategy I mentioned to entry and use the exact same one for exit, you probably wouldn't have exited that trade. Never went anywhere. It just carried on. And this is because I'm seeing some of these and carrying on, I'm thinking, right, I have to think of another strategy for when it doesn't reverse. So let's see we are looking for a sell. Right? Let's say I am looking for a sell here. And I'm not seeing it coming down or breaking a little bit of structure here or what, or even this. Why would you sell? Why would you sell if there's nothing? So rather than just believe it, these are like kangaroo kicks, Malcolm. That strategy. And it doesn't always work. Yeah. And the same with this one here. Where did it come from? It's not really did anything. It just went and stopped. So I'm trying to develop a system for not getting in there. It's not getting in, it's just as important as when to get in. Probably more so. So let's go back to this. That was another spectacular day with the new indicator. Let's see, we exit there. So we enter there. Over $800. That was on Monday. That would have been your early afternoon, Harry. You would have exited at maybe 12 o'clock midday, which would have been 5 midday. So actually it's 5 afternoon. Just enough time to go home.
Yes.
Next day. Stop me and ask questions if you wish. I've marked up that. I've marked up that. This is the time of day typically I go for a lower time frame. but this one played out perfectly. Yeah, now do that or that. But we're always keeping an eye on this as well. It goes above and we're looking for a sell. Currently, the 1 minute doesn't. The indicator was made for the 1 minute, to be honest, at 9:30. I could go and ask it to change it for this time. So, but for me, I'm going to go down a lower time frame. Typically, I go to a 30-second or a 15. I know you can't, Malcolm. So we don't even get it there. First time I get one is there. Let's take that. Though it's very clear, very obvious, it went down. Very clear and obvious, it went above the high as we ask it for a sell. Maybe we could use that there rather than the buy, take a sell, but never mind. Let's just go with this. So I've got an indicator here. I draw a line. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then based on what I initially said was, I don't enter the trade, depending on the size of it, until it breaks that. That's what I said. So it did that, not much of a trade, just to be honest. Let's see, you did enter there, and then you saw that, you'd be exiting, you'd win. It'd be definitely a win. You make $40. Maybe you'd break even. Maybe here actually. Let's call it break even. You get this here. Help me with this, Harry. How would I enter, based on what I've said today, how would I enter that there? You see it goes up, goes back down, taking out the stop losses. How would I enter that there based on what we've said today?
You need to draw a trend line from just round about where the other trend line is.
Up there somewhere?
Yeah. Bring that
Yes,
down.
that is a bit.
You go
That one was there.
no, I'd take it all the way up to the higher one.
Right. The challenge we've got with, yeah, okay. The challenge we've got at the moment is, where do we do the entry from?
It's not going to cross over. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so what it did was, it definitely didn't break that. And this is something called, this difference between break of structure and something called change in the state of delivery. Yeah. Some people on indicators, it's called CHOP, Malcolm. If you look for smart money indicators, it's called CHOP, CHOSK, I think it is. So this would be a break of structure or a market structure shift. It's the same thing. It depends on the school you went to. So they would either enter there or wait for it to pull back into a Fibonacci level down here. So we're not doing that. So as we are here, we're looking upon that. And you're thinking, that's a long way. So ideally, you're looking for a fair value. This is the way I do it anyway. You're looking for a fair value gap or something else. We get a new high. So that there, this high here, now becomes here. And we're hoping for a pullback. Especially as, what do we have here? Nothing to the left and nothing to the right. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, nothing there. So what you do is you draw a line, box. And you just drag it out. And you see there's another one here. You see there's another FEG there. Nothing to the left and nothing to the right.
Yeah.
And have you remembered something we mentioned in the past about balanced price range? It came back to balance it because an imbalance is an improper price. It's something imbalanced in the market. So it came down and it's created another one, but came down, took out people's stop losses, and then it's hallelujah. Now, the way you used, these are called inverted fair value gaps. Say that again. Inverted fair value gaps. you would only enter on the exit of it. I'll say that again. You only enter when it exits the other side. We'll say that again. We had a fair value gap, it came down, so that was inverted. It went down, took out the stop losses, came back up. And we only know it's changed when it breaks there, or some people would use this high here. It does actually break the high. There's the retest. This is the call. People say the word break and retest. Doesn't always come back sometimes, so I would take it the entry just from there or there. So we did do that. Now let's look for an exit. Let's see we do it from there. Why? Because I've started getting in there rather than there, because it doesn't always retest. So did everyone understand what I mean by this fair value gap? Then there was another fair value gap there. Wasn't always that one. Yes or no? Yeah. I could even potentially say, well, why don't I just pull this down to there? I could have did that also, because that's a fit, and then therefore I could end at one candle early, because that was the imbalance that was left. That taking that out. Okay, so let's see when we get. Okay, this rejection is like a sell. Remember what I said that? If you get a rejection, treat it as a sell. You see this, guys? But we're not. We're actually treating it at this point as an exit. That's your exit there. On completion of that candle there, that's when it rejects. It may have been there, it may have been there. So you're either going to get another 42 times 2, 80, or $100. But let's just be safe. Let's call it that.
I'll just check something, Jeff. The little green bubble and the rejection arrows, they only come in on the completion of each candle, don't they?
Yes. Well, it depends how there are settings. You can change the settings on the completion or not.
Right. So I'm assuming go on.
So let me just show you here. Wait for bar to close. If you want completion, that's what you do.
Okay, so if you haven't got that ticked.
In real time, it can go both ways.
Okay.
For that not for these little divergent, or the divergence, I suppose, as well. Yeah.
Because I was following it today, and I was noticing that maybe on my thing it's ticked, but the little bubbles and the rejections were coming in after everything had closed. So the rejection one was too late if you was been following stop loss.
Yeah. That's why I was here rather than there. It should be there. Yeah. No, say something. If it's lagging, it's good to let me know.
Because I'm getting used to this indicator. So I've had the money line on. Sorry, at the same time.
Yeah.
Then the rejection one was giving me a much later exit than the money line one.
We'd be liking the money, like test them together. Remember, the purpose of this is to find an entry, get rid of fear.
Yeah.
So it's another winning trade. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But
that was a 30 seconds. So I'm going to have to try and do something with that. So I'm now going to go to 09. Let's do 0700 actually. No. Because sometimes we do see trades start at 0700. Yeah. So let's say we saw this for a potential sell. Forget if it does that or not. Guide me through the process, Malcolm. We know it doesn't, obviously. We draw a line, don't we? Malcolm,
Yeah,
this here. We draw a trend line,
yeah,
we draw a high there, and it never came back. So guess what? We ignore it. We don't use it for a sell. And how good is that? Knowing that you can do that. You're
yeah,
hoping for a sell, but no way do you enter that. Now that's just using these. Now we could also look at the structure of the market and do a whole bunch of different things, which I would have drawn on still. And let's just say you don't get an indicator for a sell, like from here, and this here's the high you're expecting to sell from. Trust your own markups. Don't that comes first. Okay. So we then come to this here. We get two after one another. This time, Malcolm, tell me what to do with these buys here. One on one. That one there. That's 5 to 9, which is that's your 5 to 3. Guide me through this here, please. For a buy. I'll mention the
if I was
words
put,
trend line.
if I was put, yeah, if I was putting a trend line on, I'd go from the where your finger was on the bottom of that wick.
There to
Well,
there, something like that. Or not.
yeah, and then if
Yeah.
you want a corresponding one, I'd start on the black wick and then going up.
Now, the interesting thing is this. We can actually change the high. It goes up and comes down, takes out the
Yeah,
low. So we actually have a new high. We actually have a new trend line and a new high. And this is the last manipulation leg. And therefore, that's all we have to break, that there, for an entry. We've got one here. This is change in state of delivery. There is an indicator. It's called CISD. I'm going to put it on CISD. It shows this. But I don't really like it. I don't really like indicators for things like that. We have to drop manually. But that's it there. You get excited. All you do is you draw a trend line. There to there. You draw the high. It didn't break it. It went up. It went down. It took out that stop loss, didn't it? It was right there. We got another one. Now, therefore, that's your new high to break. It goes up. There's a retest to the moon. Forget about all that. So at that point, you get an exit. Rejection. Just close the trade. Just close the trade. It's not the real trade anyway, to be honest. That's really just a false trade. But for $80, maybe worth it. Now we're coming to 9:30. Oh, scary. We get one of these. By the time that 1 minute candle's finished, it's already above the trend line. You see that? It's already above that trend line. Oh, but we get an acceptance. So there's our entry right there. We're always going to get a pullback. We're always going to get a pullback. That will work. We'll go up, up, up. So I'll leave that there. You'd have a trailing stop if you want. Yeah, you can just have a trailing stop if you like. Yeah, or what you can do is do something else. It's all preferences. I get a rejection here. You could choose something to say what it must break in order for you to exit. Is it the low of that candle? Or is it the low of that candle? Or is it the low of that candle? I'd probably choose two. Yeah. Don't know why, maybe it's just this instance, but it failed to come below that there and then carried on. If you just chose the rejection and It accepted that because that was a sell there actually. It rejected that. That's time to exit the trade. I'd probably exit the trade. Got to be honest. Yeah, exit that trade. You get that there, that red one there.
Yeah.
How much would we have made? $160. You're not really seeing much. You're not really seeing much downside of this, are you? It's just this. It's this. We exit that there. I probably wouldn't enter that. Just, this is just. Then we get another buy. So first of all, it rejected that. It was more like a continuation into there. Another $200. I'm looking for an exit. I'm looking for anything with an exit. Oh, no, that's still a buy. It's still not. It's still saying buy, and we get one eventually up here. You see that there?
Yeah.
So, how much is that worth to us? On one contract?
100, on one, 300.
Yeah, so that's 150 points, right? 1 point is worth two US dollars.
Okay.
So let me go to Google. I'll just type in iTrade. What's it called? NQ. What is the value of 1 point in US dollars?
Ya Kak, udah 24 SKS saya mah.
Semester 5 jangan ngambil kerja apa.
You read that there?
Yeah, $2.
Yeah.
Ya, jangan.
So we just another $300. Look, if you want to get out earlier before that, you can.
Yeah.
I want to look at it certain times of the day because it comes to the time I've got to be in my bed, so I'd probably be happy to exit there. For people in the UK, you might want to do something similar. But let's look at this here. We got this. We're looking for a sell. Did the body close the other side here? Once. These are only wicks. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's not even straight. The body's never closed below there. So all I did was take this out, tidy it up. I got this here. I got excited. I was like, "Oh, it's going to drop." I dropped my trend line, drew a line from where it came from. I'm waiting for the body to break. It failed. It went back up. I said, "This is the one. It's going to happen this time." So where's it went? Well, the trend line's really isn't one. It's the same trend line. Do I have a change in state? Well, is that the change? That's the change in state. There's just nothing there. And guess what? It kept on going. So these are the things you have to take. Questions on that? Harry, welcome. Let me pop me through that slowly. I got an alert indicator to sell. It's called divergence. Would I have one have took that trade? Yes, it would have went below there. Absolutely. A wick. But we're trying to develop a system we can trust. I put this on the body's low where the last manipulation leg came from there to there. Does everyone see that was the low before it went up?
Yeah.
So that's all I've done. So therefore, I want the body to break through here for the sell. Failed to do so. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
That's it. So we go to the next day, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There are trades at between 3 and 4 as well, and we'll get to them. But let's get you confident with this one. On Tuesday, there was a new day opening gap. There was a gap on Tuesday there. I would go back to when the market opened. So we had a high. Guess what? I went up to the. I must admit, if I was to see that, I think this is going to drop all day long. Went up to a previous high, whatever that was. And that was the low there. That hour. Does everyone see that was the low between 3 and 4? That candle right there.
Yep.
There was no one that was the lowest. That was not the indicator, it was the low. And that was a dangerous one there. So to be honest, based on this high, I'd be a little bit concerned of taking a buy. And we're looking for one because we're looking for something below here. Now, if we use our GAN box, so we're looking for something, ideally it would get above here, it failed. We're looking for something here that had an FVG here with a little bit of liquidity. Without me drawing this scan box, I didn't necessarily focus on that. And there was a lot of FVG just there as well. But there was no indicator to sell. There is now. See that? Do you see that there?
Yep.
That says it's been accepted. And I've drawn this for whatever reason somewhere. I don't remember what that is. But let me see if we can find out what that is. That was a low. That was just a low. I don't know why it was there. Or maybe I did that after the fact. I don't know. I don't remember. Apologize, guys. Back to this. There we go. Anyway, we take the sell there. Hits here, it rejects. Exit the trade. You know why? It definitely went above there. So you would either exit the trade there, because you get a double, you get a rejection and there. Typically, you get one candle. If it doesn't, yeah. So what is that amount? Let's say we get there. Another $88. There's no way you would have took a buy there. There was not a signal to take a buy. You could have here later on. Does everyone agree with me there? Yeah. So let's say we saw that, we waited with a lot of patience and we're hoping for a buy. We saw rejection. We're getting excited. We saw one of these. Aha, it's going to the moon. Harry, this time, can you show me how to enter this trade?
From the one that's going to the moon.
Sorry, I'll put that back. That one there.
Well, yeah. What I'll do, I draw a line. What way do you do it? You draw up to there, yeah, up to the top of the black candle. Then you come across it. Oh, where do you come across it? This.
Get the high. It went up. Did the body break through there?
No.
And then come back down. And guess what we get here? Malcolm. We get another one of these.
No buy indicator.
Can you tell me how to do what Harry just did there, please?
We'll go on the bottom of that wick where the indicator is to the next one.
Yeah, that has to go back up there. And that goes up to there. But my challenge with this is so big. This is huge. That's my one concern with this. That's my one concern with this. It's too big now. That's like you're expecting something else. I'd prefer to use my Fibonacci or a GAN box and get a buy around about in this FEG area. Not there. Maybe there's something else. There's just, it looks, in fact, I'll show you exactly. Because I would look at that and I'm thinking, that's too big. Yeah, that's $100. You would be missing it. So I've used I'll do the GAN box, actually, rather than the Fibonacci. The way you do this, you go to the very low. Just go to the very, trust me for this one a minute, to the very high. And if it doesn't come below this 50, unless there's an FVG immediately just above it, I would ignore that. I didn't want it to come. So we just keep taking this up, up, up. Well, at some point that might have been actually. Possibly. There was no FVG there. So I keep taking this up, up. And then we're all the time we're looking for it to come below this 50. We're looking for an FVG, ideally. Does this go below this red line?
Yeah.
Excellent. Step one. Step two, I'm looking to see if it's went into this FVG. So that's the low. Looks like it might have failed, that FVG there. Ah, I hit it. It went into the FVG. Do you see that? This FVG here, Malcolm? I'll move this out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
There was a gap right there. It went into it. This is using your GAN box. I'd probably use it with my this is the same thing. Yeah. You don't get the indicator there, but that you're into. You can just enter on its own the stop loss below the low here, and it flies. You'd possibly exit because of that, and it was above that, and that would be a good trade. That would be a very good trade, actually. If we're doing it in contracts, just doing it that way, exiting there, so it's only 66, but if we do it for risk to reward, you do very well for risk to reward. %1.4%. Very nice. Yeah. But yeah, that's the exit there. Could you have potentially stayed on? Maybe. I don't think most people would, because this is still new to people. Questions on that? The reason why I changed that was just because of the size of from there to there. I now go to the 930, or let's just say 0700. The indicator should kick in before then. So 0700, there's another gap there. So you expect to go to the top of the gap or the bottom of the gap, so 7. So let's say I'm excited about that one. I'll just do it real quick for you. I draw a trend line. I'm not really feeling excited about the size of this. I'm not really feeling the love for this one because of that and that. And obviously it's rejecting off the 50. We get another one. Yeah, Harry's a trend line guy. You can do it there. Definitely not broken that. You might think, well, let's go about breaking that. Not really feeling the love. And apart from that, the body's never closed below that low, did it, guys? See the bodies here? If I'm going to choose that, the body's never, that was a wick. So we then keep looking. We got another one. We could use that. So that means We've got to break that low. It does not, because we get another sell here. So we got to reset again. We have to reset again. This is the boring bit. This is what happens usually at 7-ish. So I do that there. Did the bodies break through there?
Well,
Do you see how the rules are keeping you safe, guys? The rules are keeping you safe. And the same for this buy here. So a lot of the time, it doesn't move in a direction. I just ignore it and I wait to 9 or 9:30. And what do we have here? 9:24. Now at 9:24, you can be a little bit excited that it's going to be some movement happen. It no longer is just a divergence. We have whales going into the market. We know at 9:30 it may reverse. You should know that in advance. I'll say that again. If it goes in one direction before 9:30, just before, it can reverse potentially. I think I took a trade there actually this day. So let's see what was potential from there, because there's a whale. Because we would not have entered because of this here. That was the high. Does that make sense? Normally, we would not have entered that there because we never broke that high. But because we got a whale indicator, which is called finding the whales, we got one, enter that trade. Is everyone clear on that?
yep.
Yeah. Whether you get it there or there, but let's just say. And at 9:30, you might be thinking, I'm going to take my finger off the pulse, get the $100, putting it in your tail, put it in your pocket. Thank you very much. It could continue flying, but you can have a re-enter. Is there anything unclear what I'm saying here? And expect a bit of noise. Just expect a bit of noise to happen. Sometimes there's a straight continuation. Sometimes you get this here. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It says buy, then it says amber. So if you're in there, what are you doing? Are you in, you're out. You get a rejection from here, so you're out. Then it says sell, but then immediately rejects. Immediately rejects. So what are you doing? When you saw this big candle here, when you see this big candle go down fast, what do people emotions do?
Well, if you're in buy, the emotions tell you to sell.
That's what
Or
its job
place
is.
to trade rather.
No,
Yeah.
when people go down, people jump in the sell. That is called catching a fallen knife. People try to catch a fallen knife and then it reverses. And it rejects it right at the bottom. This is a 1 minute time frame. Now you can potentially buy from there, especially in Tuesday's New Day's opening gap. We do get one of these, but based on the rules we said before, the entry would not be to there. At 9:30-ish, those rules go out the window a little bit. However, you see we actually get a buy almost at the same point. We get a whale. So let's take the entry from there. I've got a zone drawn up here. I forget what that's for. I'm about to find out. This is why she marked them a bit clearer than I did. Now it looks a bit of a mess. This purple zone, pink zone, what was all that about? Oh, because it was rejected off these highs. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Oh, that was that. Remember that zone again, Harry? We did early in the week. I hit the exact same zone. So guess what it's going to do on that day? Probably going to reject. And that's exactly what it did on that said day at 9:30. Come on, there. So if you're trading, You could have got 80 bucks out of that, and then it reversed. And you have no reason for it not to reverse, because so far it's done it. This will be the 5th time. You get a sell from there, goes back up to the zone and drops. But that was not an easy day. I think I did get a win out of that, but not an easy day. That was a mess, that particular one, Malcolm. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's nothing we can do. It's just designed to take our money. Let's go to the next day. Now we can do all that, the weekly highs, the daily highs, and all that as well. I think I've got them on and things, but I know I did. Okay, at 4 a.m. So we got a high, we got a low. No, we've not really got high and low, but let's just see. Let's draw this here. We're looking for a buy after here. I've not actually mentioned that inside here, these things count. You can actually use these to enter a trade in here. Also, especially with the fair value gap. I'll leave that to another day. I'll leave that another day. Yeah. And typically for that, I would look at the previous hour. If I'm doing that, I typically look at the previous hour. And I would look, if I'm trading here, I would look at the high and low here. We'll change the color of that. Because typically we're looking for, for me, this is so much clearer when I see this. Right, I go up, 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 it stops there. Look left, what do we see? What's this here?
The FVG then, right?
FVG. Rejected straight down. And therefore the target after this is called internal liquidity. After that, you go internal, you go external. What's below there? External. And our target is below there. Internal, external. Internal never took the high. Thank you very much. Sell, sell, sell. From below there, if we're using our rules. It did break below there. Do we get a pullback? Yep. Continue with the selling, although it says exit there. Fair enough. And here we're only looking for buys because that's the setup. I'm teaching this. Yeah. There's no buy setup anywhere there until there. I have to be honest, I'd probably buy that with, I'd put the liquidity hunter on and probably just buy that if I wasn't comfortable. Because the setup is sell to buy. That's the setup. Have I shot and on the 15-second time frame or the 30, I would get the setup with that on the Thursday. I'm pretty sure. When have I got it? Wow. That's interesting. That's maybe why sometimes I use a 15. But we're not going to do that because it's unfair to you. No, it never came. I've got to be honest, it never came until they never came. He would win there, but it's not really. As to say, it's not really playing cricket, which is the high there. I just like these. It gives you it gives you reasons why. All it does, it goes above that high. All it does. It's unfair that I'm dropping down. So it never really happened that day there. Let's go to 0700 again. On the Thursday, nothing there. Back up. Now, if I use the rules, I don't get in that trade. You see that? We use the rules, don't get in the trade. So let's analyze this now. All the way down there, it comes down. Doesn't break the stop loss, but it does go above. Maybe this is a little rule we can implement. It takes our bodies, highs. Therefore, we have a new break of structure or change in state delivery. Let me put that indicator on to see what it says. Change in state of delivery. Let's see if that picks that up or not. I see it here, but I don't like it, to be perfectly honest. I don't like it. Nah, I don't like the indicator. But have a little look yourselves. If you can change the settings. I just don't like it. Anyway, comes down, breaks the bodies here. It doesn't take above the high, but it takes the bodies. Maybe I'm just making this up, but therefore that was the low. The challenge we've got now, the entry is going to be there if you do not want to close. I'm going to be honest. So it might be no trade. Just people would be fearful of that just being a wick. Now, you could have entered it there if you want, but I don't know. We don't get a buy signal. Anyway, I'm going to highlight something else. What's this to the left here?
Big FVG.
FVG meets another FVG. Have I showed you that earlier on today on this session?
Yeah, big
I did show you on this session. With the three of us, I called it a balanced price range. Then I called it an inverted fair value gap.
yeah.
Yeah, but it broke through it. So therefore, we're looking for it to come back into this, reject, and go down. Buy, sell, broke through. This is the same like a breaker block now. We're looking to go into it and sell from here. Oh my God! Oh, it's almost like from the FVG right there. Sorry, I was slightly out. That was it right there. That's using the knowledge. I now see what this is doing. It's actually following my rules. Change the state of delivery. That's your entry. You draw a line. That's your entry. When it closes, this is called order flow. Actually, you use this as a trailing stop, and you would get taken out there. That's quite clever. That actually this follows my rules. Uses the bodies rather than the wicks. But yeah, that one wasn't a good one again. But guess what? We're before the official market opens. The official market hasn't opened yet. 9 o'clock, we say sell. You see this? And straight away it rejects. Now, Malcolm, can you help me out? If that's a sell and it rejects and it goes up, takes out the high, and comes back, is that the same as a change of a state of delivery? As in there and all these other ones? Actually is, because it says it in the indicator. So we have an entry as it breaks through here. It's behind there.
Yeah.
But I'd probably be fearful. I might wait for the candle to close up, to be honest. So therefore, that is the entry there. We're always need a little bit of pullback. Let's see if we can get a sell. A buy, sorry. We're in this trade. We get a rejection. We get a rejection. You may stay in the trade, you may not. And why do all of a sudden do we get these, many of these now? Because of the time of the day. 9:30. So we definitely wouldn't have lost that trade. I don't know how much we would have won. Maybe 80 or something. Reverses. And at this point, we've got a big candle. It says accepted. We enter the trade. And when you get this rejection, again, it could be a small pullback. A little bit of advice to you. Just draw a line across there. Initially I said 2, but when it's close to this, do it at 1. Pull your stop loss up to there to protect you. You would enter there, stop loss there. You cannot lose that trade. And I'll show you live a trailing stop with that in a minute. And we're looking, we get one here. So based on that, we are out of the trade right there. Is that pretty clear rules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is a bit this here. So I apologize. Where's my entries there? Yeah. You would have made, oh my God, $360 with one contract. For some people, that's a day's work. For some people, it's a week's work. We were in life. So that was, you see these at 9:30. And we'll just do, we're not going to, then we'll do today, or 400. By me going over this, so we have 0300, we have 0400. I've rejected off a zone, as you can see. Going from a low to a high. When above, we're looking for a sell. We get rejection. If I'm thinking this is a sell, it's got to break something. That's 2, I'm not getting into that. Ah, we've got one of these. Ways to change the state delivery. I may have entered that trade right there. And that would have been a loss. 100%. That's the first loss I've shown here. Just so you know, these are not as powerful as these, typically. Yeah, it came down. You're thinking about getting a sell. The best thing is just to wait for the next candle to close if you can. Typically, if you get this and it rejects, buy. Just take a buy. And you exit there if you like. There's a signal to exit. You don't get much. $22. Got waste of space. It just went sideways. So at the 4 a.m. does work. In the last 2 weeks, we've tested this. The first week it was 4 out of 5. I think this week was 3 out of 5. And we've had one loss. Yeah. That's without adding anything else to it. And then that's the 700. Oh, it's actually 930 I really want, but it's 700. I'm looking for something. That there, I don't believe that. Nah, that's not worked. Take the line. Nah, it's not came above it. Maybe you would have get in there possibly for a seller. I don't know. prefer to wait if I can. But I mean, if you want to, you get that there. You've got that there. But I'm not counting that. Let me come to the 8:30. A lot of time you get big movements. Also, where is we're above the high. Does everyone see this? There's the high. Where's the trend line? We don't really have a trend line. That was going the wrong way. It's telling you the direction of the trade. So we're in the trade there. When do we exit? Right there. That was today, ladies and gentlemen. No, there's no ladies on. You'd probably be in today or the close of that. Another $260. Not the good old days, but today. Then we're coming to the 9:30. We get this.
Yeah.
This says, be careful, it might happen. Something might happen. Something might happen. It's rejecting this. Typically, I look for a reversal. That's my preference at 9:30, actually. I'm always cautious of going in. Yeah. But let's say I do go in here based on that. I go in based on that. I'm looking left. I don't know why I've got this line here, but it's there for a reason. I don't know why it is there, actually. But I might be cautious of that. But put that aside. What's in here? It's the FVG. And that's exactly where that wick goes to. It feels like I'm making this up sometimes, you know. But if I entered there and I saw that and saw that, I'd possibly be exiting. Sometimes you might see me putting my stop loss, dragging it up straight away, just above there once it goes up. Probably wait a little bit actually. So I might have made a loss there. Or I might even hope to turn around. Not a great day. That was today. So sell rejected. So when you get a sell and rejected, and you see these rejection wicks, Friday's not really the best day. Just like you know. Although I've had a lot of success with gold on Fridays. I know it dropped off, but we can't claim that. I wonder which area it's going for. Oh, never mind. Probably go back up and come back down again. So that was this week. I probably spoke too much.
You might want a bigger laptop then.
Repeat that, please, Harry.
I was saying something to Alex.
Okay. There was an image here. Harry put an image in. Sorry.
Well, there you go. That's the first trade I've ever done using your system. And I won.
Of course you won.
And it's still going.
Yeah, so let's use that.
The first trade I've ever done.
This one here.
The one that I sent you the image. No, it's live. The one that was live, yes.
So
yes, it was.
Let me see if I can trade into paper trades. I want to show you a trailing stop.
I could have done a trailing stop on that, but I just wanted to see if I would win.
Right, let me just
I didn't want to detract from what you were saying.
Let me go 3, right? It's going to come back down anyway. We know that. So let's do a buy. I might miss it. I think I missed it. Because the order flow. Let me try and do a buy limit order. Huh? I was on paper trading. This, okay, here's a different one. That looks very different, doesn't it? That looks very different. It's actually the same thing. But let's do it anyway. It's pulled away. It looks very different. Well, it's not. It's just because of the... It does... Wow. 1 minute. 1 minute. Well, I know what the problem is. I know what it is. Right, here we go. Too late now. Let's just press a buy. Right, let's say I want to trail this up. Come on, get up there. Get up. I know near the top is the wrong place to place a buy. So let's just, I mean, now that was one. I clicked the wrong thing. I should have three. I tried to do 3 contracts before. But you hate it when the plan doesn't work. Let me do another one. I'll take the L on that. I think it'll sell actually. Let's do a sell. A sell stop. What that means is you think it's going to come down, or you don't want it to stop. Right? You don't want it to stop. It's called a sell stop. Confirm. And I'm now going to go, I'm going to take one contract off here. So I'll do a buy. How many contracts do I have there, Malcolm?
3.
So I don't want to take them all off. I might want to take, let's say, 2 of them off or 1 of them off. Let's say I want to take 2 off. Then I would let 1 run. But it could reject off this here, off this high. If I can get this set up right. And I'll have 1 left. And just for this example, I want it to come down here to balance this price range. Right, so I now have 1 contract left. You see this when it says 1 contract?
Yeah.
Although I placed 3. So if I want, I can just boom my stop loss into profit. And now I can't lose. See that there?
Oh, yeah.
And you just, once you've been in the trade for a while, you just can just drag it out of this market structure as you wish. So let's say I think it's going to come to here. I can exit that 1 contract at that high because I don't want to buy 2, I want to buy 1. I'm left 1 in the market, never mind. Exit that trade. There we go. So I got it right apart from, yeah, I thought it was going to sell, but I was just too late. Guess why? I was a look left. Last candle. Took a chance at. So that was an example of how to do it. I'll do a longer example. Um, Now let's look at this. I'm going to go to a 4-hour time frame. Reset. Or remove indicators. Don't want them. Don't want whales. Don't want absolutely anything. I just want candles. Ten a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is 4 hours, 6 to 10, and that's between 10 and that's 33 minutes of candle. So all I do is there, here. The wick there. The high there. So far, I think that's the high of the day. No, it's not, right? Then I would look left for any FVGs. There's an FVG in here, isn't there? Just there.
Right.
From that wick to that wick. And I would just drag that forward. Oh my God, guess what it goes to? 50% of the FVG. Ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's slightly more. So we now go to 10 a.m. on the 1 minute. So you've got 4 hours to draw this up. And just before 10 a.m., you draw that up. Do it the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Let's jump to the 5 minute. Yeah. Now, let's say we got lost. We go back to the 4 hours. Draw a box in there. So we'll keep it right. We'll change that. We'll make that. Let's make that green, actually, the whole box green. So this one, it's a green candle. Into the 5 minute. So now we know the direction it went first. So it went into a zone which we'd previously drew at, there was 10, went down, and it turned around every now and then again. It turned around. That's the body of the that's the whole body of the 4 hour. That's wick. That's wick. So you do nothing until it comes down. And you would enter either there or there. We don't have any of those fancy indicators on, but that's the setup. Let me try the 30-second. No, let me try the 15. Probably not either. You could have probably put on you could probably put in any other indicators you wanted. So let's look at this on the 1 minute, and we'll put the liquidity hunter, and then we'll put on the 5 minute. Let's change the settings. Sweet. It went below, and there we go. There or there, it's up to you. Depends how confident you feel. Let's just take it from the high, and we exit there. Another $150 with one contract. I'm showing you how to do that. Now it looks like it's going to come down. Where's it going to come to? It's going to come down to either the body's high. Yeah. It's a good chance to come to the body's high on a 4 hour and reject. I could continue down, but let's just... I know that's a long session, guys, but I think it's been valuable. So we also have a zone. We have a 4 hour high and we have a 4 hour low. We now can use a GAN box. We'll look for FVGs around about the 50%, and we have one. So I'm hoping it goes into there and goes to and continues. First question, Malcolm, is did it go into there? What's it, the 50%? An FVG? Have I ever mentioned that before? I might come back down again. I'm trying to let you see what I saw.
Yeah, okay, sort of weird.
It doesn't have to even be the 50%. It can be slightly before, but we're looking for
Okay,
this at that area.
yeah.
This can just be before. I actually want a deeper retracement down here. I would prefer it down here, this FVG here. I'm going to be honest. So if you did take that to come back up there, that already you'd be up $80. Or you would have been up $80. Now, is it coming back into the deeper retracement, which I said I would like down here? Let's see. So you can start. So what we've got is order block and a deeper FVG here at the 25.75 mark. Now, I know my computer needs charged, so it may die on me, but I'll just stay here for 5 more minutes anyway. And this is all low time frame stuff, 1 minute stuff. People say you can't do. I wish it would just go over and done with. But look at the bodies. The bodies are still respecting that FVG. This one in here.
Yeah.
The bodies are respecting us. Now, there's no indicators on for this. There's no stuff on it. Switched everything off. Just finding the whale. There. Up. So remember the other day there, Harriet, I said to you, when you're trying to find out where it's going to go, draw trend lines. Yeah. And I said, where's it going to stop there? Or where's it going to stop there? And what you're looking for is when it went down and pulled back up, went down and pulled back up. These here, this is like, and when it goes, this is like bouncing into this. This is coming down the stairs, that's trying to get up the stairs, and it's failed. So there's something here, there's something here. And it's exactly what this FVG is. So stuck between here and here. We see that? There. It's stuck. This. Now, normally when I see a down, a black, green, and black, if it does go that, I would tend to think it's going to come down. But it just stopped there. So it's hopefully showing its true colours. So, questions, learnings, or discoveries from today's bonus session. In summary,
Well, I did my first trade.
Congratulations, and you won. Can't be too bad. Did you exit yet?
I came out. I just set it. If I'd let it go, I probably got 200 quid or $200. But I set it, and it was set at 112, and that's what it came out at. So I just let it come out at that.
Yeah. So well done to you, Harry. And Malcolm, I do apologise, it's getting quite late now. Questions, learnings, discoveries for yourself, Malcolm?
I'll try harder.
Sorry, repeat that, please.
Try harder.
Try harder.
It comes, Malcolm.
Um, look, we don't like this indicator, or it doesn't work for you. Don't use it.
I'm not saying the indicator don't work. Getting used to that indicator.
I quite like it actually, because,
Mm.
but I would definitely use it with trend lines like Harry uses to support your entry. If you think this is too high for an entry, for there, just put it onto it. Just put it on a points chart on a whip, and then you'll see here. Actually, there you can use that as an entry. There, if it does that.
Langsung dipecat.
Harry, where did you get in on that?
I get in at 10.19.
All right, 10.19. Wait a minute. Was a little bit late. Yeah.
Look, it was a bit late, aye.
Yeah.
Because I waited it to clear that line fully instead of waiting for it to go over it.
Yes. So one thing you got today, Harry, you did your first trade with it. Well done.
Yeah. I did say it'd take a bit of time for me to get used to it, so I'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I might not like it.
I actually built it for the New York entry. New York in 9:30. That's what it's built for, to be honest.
I've got the heat
Let-
coming in this
let-
back window.
Let me have a look at this on a 5-minute to see if you see you don't really get it on the 5-minute, Malcolm.
No.
The entries. It wasn't built for and today being Friday as well. Yeah, you could have got some nice trades up, then whatever it's. Yeah. Well, I'll leave you to it, gents. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right.
Thank
Speak
you
to
again,
that. Thanks a
Jeff.
lot.
Welcome. Have a lovely weekend. I'll see you Sunday. Bye for now.
Ta-ra.
And I'll upload this
Bye.
back. Cheers.